He was fired for watching the Titanic sink. The captain of the SS Californian, Stanley Lord, stood just miles away and did nothing. But was he heartless or hopelessly misunderstood? This is the untold story of the ship that watched from the dark and the man who was blamed for it all. Watch till the end, because the truth still divides historians to this day. In the dead silence of that icy Atlantic night, one ship sat still, watching distant flares rise into the sky. That ship, SS Californian, was the closest to Titanic and did absolutely nothing. Captain Stanley Lord would spend the rest of his life trying to clear his name. To some, he was a scapegoat. To others, the man who failed to act when the world needed him most. In 1912, maritime law didn't require ships like the Californian to keep their radios manned at night. So when Titanic called for help, no one was there to answer. The flares fired from Titanic were not recognized as distress signals by the official rulebook. White rockets every 7 to 8 minutes meant confusion, not emergency. Cyril Evans, just 20 years old, had worked all day. When Titanic's operator snapped "shut up" on the airwaves, he turned off the radio and went to bed. Only 20 minutes after Evans turned off the radio, Titanic hit the iceberg. In that tiny gap, the course of history was sealed. On another ship, 21-year-old Harold Cottam stayed up just a little longer, long enough to hear Titanic's SOS. That one moment saved more than 700 lives. Lookouts on the Californian saw the flares. They logged them. But because they weren't at 1-minute intervals, they didn't raise the alarm. James Gibson, the lookout, later admitted he felt something was wrong, but no one dared to wake the captain. Was it fear, obedience, or both? Despite Lord's claim they were 20 miles away, investigations showed the Californian may have been as close as 4 miles just over the horizon. Fired just months after the tragedy, Lord's once promising career sank with his reputation. He would never captain again. In 1985, Titanic was found miles from her reported position, and that shifted the debate over had the Californian truly been close enough to help. In 1992, another report argued the Californian was 17 to 20 miles away, too far, too late. But which account was right? Out of this failure, the Radio Act of 1912 was born, requiring all ships to maintain 24-hour wireless watch, a rule written in regret. Then came SOLAS, the Safety of Life at Sea Convention, because no rocket, no call for help should ever be misunderstood again. Over 100 years later, the debate rages on. Lordites defend him. Anti-Lordites condemn him. A captain caught in history's shadow. Just 3 years later, the Californian was torpedoed in World War I. Her wreck lies in darkness, never found. She sank just 200 miles from the Britannic Titanic's sister ship, a chilling echo of fate. What if Evans had stayed awake? What if someone knocked on the captain's door? Would hundreds more have lived? The Californian didn't sink, but she changed the ocean forever. That silent night rewrote the laws of the sea and echoed through time. In the final years of his life, Captain Stanley Lord spoke rarely, but when he did, his message was clear. I did what I thought was right. Was it truth or denial? Many crew members never forgot what they saw that night, speaking only once during the inquiry, with eyes full of hesitation and guilt buried in silence. Long before any report, the newspapers had chosen their villain. Captain Lord was condemned not in court but in headlines across the globe. Some historians argue Californian had no chance. Others show she could have reached Titanic in time if only the engines had started sooner. Titanic's calls echoed across the Atlantic unanswered. The signals faded into cold air like whispers no one wanted to hear. Lookout James Gibson later said the ship he saw looked queer out of the water. He had a chance to act, but fear kept him still. As Titanic's story grew, Californians shrank, forgotten by history books until documentaries and divers dragged her back into the light. 8 white rockets lit the sky, fired every 7 minutes. Not red, not rapid, but desperate all the same. None were answered. More than a century later, the world remains divided. Some call him a scapegoat, others a coward. The truth lies buried under time and water. She didn't go down with Titanic, but the Californian was sunk by silence. A ship that haunts the sea, not for what she did, but for what she didn't do. If you found this story powerful, there's more coming. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss the untold mysteries still hidden beneath the sea.